Hey, this is Danny from Scare Talk. Before we get into all the horror greatness, I gotta let you know about Anchor. Anchor is the host site that we use to record our podcast. Anchor will upload your podcast to Apple and Spotify and many other listening platforms. Anchor is completely free, and you can download the app or go to the website, anchor.fm, and you can record straight on there. There's also some cool editing tools that you can use. Did I mention that it's free? Yeah, so if you want to make a podcast, Anchor is the way to go. Go check it out. Now, for the spooky stuff.
Welcome to Scare Talk, a horror movie podcast for horror fans. This podcast will cover horror movie reviews, ratings, and rankings. Now for your hosts, Danny and Joel.
Yeah! This is Scare Talk. I am Danny, and I'm here with two co-hosts. We've got Jet Joel, or Joel the Jet.
Hey guys, what's up? Joel the Jet, that's better.
And we got Jizzy Joey.
Yeah, I love it. What's up, you guys?
All right, so we had to bring another on for this one. This is one of the biggest movies, one of the more highly anticipated films over the last few years. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Oh, yeah.
From this year, 2021. All right, Joel, who was in it?
This one stars Patrick Wilson. He was in Midway, that like World War II movie, 10 episodes of Fargo, and The Ledge. Also Vera Farmiga. She was in The Frontrunner, The Judge, and The Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
Oh, all right.
I've already done both of these guys multiple times, so I didn't want to just do the same movies over again. And I don't know if I'm going to be pronouncing this name right, but Ruari O'Connor.
Okay.
He plays Arnie.
Okay.
He was in a movie called Teen Spirit, The Spanish Princess, 16 episodes, and The Postcard Killings.
Oh.
And this was written by two people. This was written, the story and the screenplay was written by David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick. That's quite the name there.
Like 10 names.
Yeah. He did Orphan, Red Riding Hood, 12 episodes of The Walking Dead, and this was quite a surprise here. It's in pre-production right now.
Oh.
A Nightmare on Elm Street.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on IMDb on his credit for written by. It's a reboot to the 84 and the 2010. So.
Wow.
All right.
And James Wan also is involved in this one. He did the story. He didn't like write the screenplay or anything, but he's coming out with The Crooked Man. Yeah, that's a character from the second Conjuring movie. Malignant and The Nun.
The Nun.
All right.
Danny loves The Nun.
The best one.
Yes.
And this was directed by Michael Chavez. He directed The Curse of La Llorona, which is also in the Conjuring universe. Billie Eilish, Bury a Friend music video.
What?
Yeah.
All right.
And 11 episodes of a miniseries called Chase Champion.
All right.
Literally everything else was like a short that he did.
Okay.
This is the only, yeah. So, that's who directed this movie.
Okay. So the plot here, the Warrens investigate a murder that may be linked to a demonic possession. That's it. It's all we get.
Such a basic plot.
Yeah.
That's like the plot of all of them.
It seems like it's a plot of like an episode of a TV show or something.
Yeah.
All right, so this one was definitely highly anticipated. Was supposed to come out last year and was delayed, of course. And so we got it now. You guys watch this on HBO Max, I assume?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was in theaters as well, but
Mm-hmm.
also on HBO Max, which was pretty cool.
Mhm.
And so yeah, let's see how this one, stacks up to the other films. Joey, do you have some positives here?
I do have some positives.
Okay.
I love the opening scene. I thought
Okay.
it was really, really good. Probably one of the... I self-admittedly did not see the second Conjuring. I don't know if I did. I might have. I can't remember.
Okay.
But I think it's one of the better opening scenes that I've seen recently, maybe in a
Mhm.
horror movie. I like the sound of the movie too.
Okay.
Like the sound, and I watched it on HBO Max. It was in the movie theater, or I didn't watch it in the movie theater rather. And I just thought the sound was really good.
Okay.
Like, there's a lot of like silence to it, and then there would be like kind of like loud, like banging. It just sounded, to me, it just sounded good.
Yeah.
I thought the acting was pretty good. Obviously, like the two leads, Ed and Lorraine, I think they always do like a pretty solid performance.
Yeah.
And then I like the lady at the end. I thought she was pretty creepy and pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the end. The end was pretty solid. I think that's what I have for pros, but I might add to it depending on what you guys say as well.
Okay. All right. Joel?
Yeah.
What do you got?
I also love the beginning of the movie. It
Yeah.
was a really it felt very different from the rest of the movie as far as just the way that the rest of the movie played out. That scene was very like jump scary, and there weren't that many jump scares in this movie, which I usually do like about horror, like when they can be scary without actually having to do like a cheap jump scare.
Yeah.
But that beginning part was really cool. The whole exorcism. I liked that. That was little Luke from The Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah, it was.
I liked how I liked that the child actors from that show are still getting work,
Yeah.
because they all did a really good job in that show, and I liked seeing him in that, and the acting was really good, as it usually is in the Conjuring movies. Not as many kids in this one as there usually are.
Yeah.
Each family usually has about 5 or 6 kids. I like when Arnie is seeing from his point of view, like when he attacks the like his friend or whatever, the whole reason why this movie exists in the first place, or the story in general. Seeing what is going on in his mind from his point of view,
Right.
was really cool. Like seeing like the creature coming at him and stuff,
Yeah.
and he has to like defend himself, but who he's actually defending himself from is his friend.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. And like Joey said about the sound, that's a positive and a negative for me. You can always tell when the sound gets cut off completely, that a jump scare is right around the corner. And that's kind of like a cliche in horror movies. It's like, oh, it's just a matter of time before something like pops out at you, or the music goes all the way up again, like scares you. And it's when the volume suddenly goes up is to me like a cheap jump scare.
Yeah.
It's like it's actually nothing going on. It's just like the music's changing. So that was kind of that was a positive and kind of a negative. It's more of like a neutral for me, I guess. Yeah, for right now, that's it for positives.
Okay. So like you guys said, the beginning, I did like the beginning. I like the whole contortion stuff with the kid.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool. There was some of that with the guy too, the murderer. He did some of the contortion stuff, which was cool. They definitely had fun with that in this movie. It was
there
definitely
was a lot of contortions.
a lot of contortioning going on. I like the story, like the idea of the defense of something that he says is the court like accepts the existence of God. And it's time for them to accept the existence of the devil. I thought that was pretty smart.
I actually wrote that quote down.
It was.
Oh,
I was very
forgot that was actually going to be a positive for me because I mean that quote is in the trailer of the movie, but it's also it's such a cool quote though.
Yeah. It's like, good point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did like that, and I like that overall idea for the story. So there's a scene in a morgue, with this like big naked guy, this big dead body.
So we'll talk about that later.
I just, I wouldn't say it was. It's funny. I was like, what?
It was so random.
Yeah,
that whole scene was random.
It happened twice though.
Yeah,
it's like it's not. It wasn't
twice.
like a one and done thing.
Yeah.
It was like it's like they took that character from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yeah,
that big, and just like put him in this movie.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like
so random.
That was definitely going to be a negative for me.
Yeah.
Like I said, like sometimes negatives can be so negative that it makes me laugh. So then it becomes a positive. So that's something I'll remember this movie for.
Yeah.
Is that
a good thing though?
I guess it's not a good thing, but it's still.
It's a thing.
It's a thing, and it made me laugh. So I'm gonna talk about it.
Yeah, things like that though, like they have their place, but this for like a Conjuring movie series, just adding that into it, just kind of like it takes something out of the movie.
Oh yeah,
because it's not that type of a movie.
No, definitely not
in the first place.
It was very out of place for a Conjuring film.
Mm-hmm. And then he like hit the creature woman or whatever hits her head on the and like falls down.
Yeah, and
it's like they look at her like it's not even a big of a deal. Like, they're just like, oh, hey, you're on the floor. That's cool.
It was weird. So weird. So yeah, that scene. I thought the acting was pretty good. I wouldn't say it was as good as the other ones, but it was pretty good. And that will be it for positives for me.
No.
Neither one of us have very many positives for this movie. And one of your positives was one of my negatives.
Joey, what do you got here for some negatives?
I got a couple negatives. I was kind of disappointed that there wasn't more from the trial.
Yeah.
It was billed as a trial. I understand that there's not really much scariness that comes from a trial, probably. I'm assuming the trial wasn't scary, per se. But I wanted to at least see something as far as the trial goes. There was, like, nothing. There was, like, at the very end, I think, maybe? Was there something?
Yeah.
Just
like the very end.
Yeah.
Like
the words.
Like credits or whatever and stuff. Or not credits, but, like, the, what happened or whatever.
And that was done really weird, too.
Yeah.
I'll get into that in a little bit. But, that was...
Yeah. Well, and after doing like a little research and stuff, I guess the movie was very loosely based on what actually happened.
Yeah,
as far as like the murder and stuff like that. So I wish I didn't research that and know that. So I guess I can't go back and unlearn that. It kind of was disappointing a little bit. Well, yeah, this touches on like the big fat guy like in the morgue and stuff. There was like a lot of like there's a few like tangent like storylines, like the missing girl. Like where the hell did that come from? Like I was like, that's super random.
Yeah. And
then like the lady at the end or whatever, like with like the child of like a priest, that the priest had had the hider or whatever the situation was. I was like, and then she became obsessed, so she cursed this one house. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah. This is so, I don't know, it was like so not confusing because I understood it, but it just was like, this is like kind of stupid. Yeah. It was kind of hard to follow sometimes with Lorraine's like visions
Mm-hmm.
When she would like go into her visions or whatever, I'm like, dude, it just looks like you're shaking the camera. I don't really know what's really going on,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then I thought the middle part was kind of boring.
Yeah.
I thought it started really good, kind of tailed off. And then I think the end was good, like maybe like the last like 15 minutes or so. But the whole middle part, including the morgue scene, I thought it was okay. It just wasn't very exciting.
Yeah.
I thought it was just kind of boring or whatever, but
yeah,
that's what I got.
Okay.
Yeah. What you got, Joel?
Yeah, Joel.
So yeah, my biggest thing is the fact that it wasn't a courtroom drama.
Yeah.
Which is what I was actually really hoping it would be. There are ways that you could have made this movie a lot. It could have been a courtroom drama and also have been just as creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exorcism of Emily Rose was a courtroom drama, and that movie was pretty creepy. So I mean, there are definitely ways that they could have done it, and the fact that we didn't really get much of the story, as far as what happened with him. We're getting like the backstories and like the whole thing with the witch and everything is like I don't really. All right, well, that's something, I guess.
Yeah.
Adding in the witch like factor in there, and
yeah, was that going to be like part of the defense?
Yeah, so that's another thing too.
Yeah.
So he got manslaughter.
Yeah.
And he was originally going to get like they were going to kill him, like
Yeah.
they were going for the death penalty. I want to know what happened,
Right.
to
What
change
actually
the
happened.
juror's mind
Yeah.
to give him manslaughter and not, the death penalty.
Yeah,
that's quite a drastic
because
change.
You could have like done like the trial and stuff, and then had like kind of like flashbacks, like as they were like defending them and stuff, flashbacks to what was actually happening and stuff.
Yeah.
It would have been a little bit more easier to follow.
Yeah, it could have been done much better as far as the pacing and the storytelling.
That story
could have been
sounds more interesting than what we got.
Yeah.
The actual like courtroom.
Right.
I want to know what happened with that.
Yeah.
And that leads me to another negative, which is what I mentioned earlier about how. So it showed us that he got manslaughter and like 5 years in prison, but they showed us that while also like giving this music to us that sounded like more upbeat music.
Like it was a good thing or something.
What happened? I was expecting like, oh yeah, all charges were dropped against him or something, but he got manslaughter and served 5 years. But you've got this music in the background of it, like telling a different story kind of thing. It's like,
well, and that's
okay.
That kind of goes with the first two movies where the ending is so like abrupt and like it goes into this like super happy music.
Yeah,
that this movie kind of added that too at the end where it ended and then it's like everything is so happy and then like you said then the little I don't even know what you call them. They're not credits. What would you even call that?
Little like the story, like the written,
afterword or whatever.
Yeah,
the
little synopsis.
Yeah,
of what happened. Yeah.
So
it's just there were definitely that is definitely a theme throughout this series so far. Where it happened in this one with Ed, where he's possessed, and Lorraine's like, "Come back to me. You're stronger than this, and remember, blah blah blah."
Remember our
it's
love.
like eventually, eventually it works.
That was kind of
dumb. It happened like that in the first movie too.
Yeah,
it's like she's possessed. This is after she had an exorcism in the first movie. And Lorraine goes, remember that day at the beach with your family? And like that brings her back. Like the exorcism didn't bring her back, but a memory
of the beach
of her family at the beach brought her back. I don't remember if that happened in the second one or not, but it's like that's lame. Sorry.
Yeah, it's corny. It's corny.
Yeah, it was very.
It happened
corny.
with Ed in this one. It's like okay. The power of love is stronger.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's a Disney type of like
That's like for like Notebook, not for Conjuring. I don't care about the love story.
True love's first kiss will bring you back from the demons.
Oh, man.
And I mean, I like what they tried to do differently with this movie. This definitely felt different than the other two movies.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, it also didn't feel as intense and suspenseful either.
No.
So this movie was kind of all over the place for me.
Yeah.
It tried doing multiple things, and I just wish it had just done one thing, which is just be a courtroom drama.
Yeah.
Honestly, would have been a way better story.
Yeah. Is that all you got for negatives?
And the story is already there. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't need to go into all this other, because I'm pretty sure the witchcraft thing probably wasn't, because this is based on a true story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of it's
Very loosely.
true.
It's extremely loosely based.
Yeah.
That would be funny if that's what it said at the beginning. Extremely loosely based on actual events.
I think the name, like Arnie's name, is the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Yeah.
And he did kill
Ed
the
and Lorraine
person,
Warren are
but that's
rented.
about it.
But that's it.
Yes.
So
But it's
what I read.
You're.
No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say the court hearing, like everything, it's already there.
Yeah.
Like you could have just taken from what happened in real life.
Yeah.
And put it into this movie.
Yeah.
Instead of giving us all this extra stuff that nobody really cares about. We didn't need to know about the whole witchcraft angle. Like that, he could have just been possessed for all we know. Like it's, you could have just left it with that and given us, the actual story of what happened.
Right.
Because that case is real.
Yeah.
So instead of just, I don't know.
So was the idea that if they could prove that somebody cursed him, that would help his case? Because, I mean, then you have to prove that somebody has the ability to curse somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can prove that, but that's not going to convince anybody, really. I don't know. I feel like the way they went about doing things was just like, okay, even if you figure this out and, what's that actually going to do for him, though?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That would have been interesting to find out. Like if in real life, if they actually did go for the death penalty and he did get manslaughter for 5 years, that's a huge difference.
Right.
I want to know what happened there
Yeah.
to change the juror's mind about that.
So I just did a little investigation.
Oh, okay.
So the actual, the quote unquote devil made me do it defense actually did not go into the trial.
Okay.
Because the judge cited lack of evidence.
Okay.
So instead, his attorney made a self-defense argument.
Oh.
Instead.
Okay.
So it actually didn't actually make it into the trial.
Okay. I actually that makes sense that you say that, because I had read that the guy's family actually sued the Warrens for even trying to bring this to the trial, because it made him look worse in their eyes. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'll go into some of my negatives.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I had one more, and was that. Sorry, I actually had a lot more than I thought I did. The lack of really any sort of explanation, like the attorney that said that there's no way she's going to go to court with my client is innocent because he was possessed defense.
Yeah.
And then the Warrens are like, just come over to our house and we'll introduce you to like Annabelle or whatever. Like and then like the next scene she's like shooken. She's shaking, and she's like, "My client is innocent." It's like, I want to know what happened.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We didn't get to see
what she saw.
Yeah. What convinced her? We don't know. That's true.
Yeah, there were definitely a couple holes.
See that. Yeah.
Okay. So
that's it.
The pacing. Some of the pacing was off. I didn't think the acting was as good So I mentioned that kind of as a positive, but also it wasn't very good. Her visions, Lorraine's visions, were just too much in this one.
Yeah.
I feel like it turned the movie into like almost like a fantasy at times, like almost like she was, there was too much of it. In the other films, I think there was too much in the second one too, but it connected some dots for the characters, I guess. That was like the point of it. But it was subtle. It wasn't so much. In this one, I feel like it was so often that she was having these, and it kind of takes me out of the movie. Like, that's not really what I want to see when I'm watching a Conjuring movie. I don't know. Not what I'm looking for. It was a little dramatic with the whole love thing and remember our first date and all this crap. Like,
remember
the
gazebo.
yeah, a little dramatic. So that I don't know, wasn't feeling it. And then this witch girl, was she like magic or something? Because she was able to do some pretty magical stuff.
Yeah. Well, she like sold her soul to the devil. Like,
and she killed her dad. Like, what was that?
The priest
and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did she do that?
And see, that's another thing. So I've there's a lot of people that like complain about these movies because there's like a lack of like violence and like lack of people actually dying in these movies. It's just like, there's an exorcism and then a happy ending. Yeah. And it's like, for the most part, because these are based on true stories, I can understand that, because these are like, you may not believe in what happens, but these are real people that they're taking into these stories. And if you kill off a real person that's not dead in real life, it kind of takes credibility away. But at the same time, there were multiple people that died in this movie. And it's like, for movies that are based on true stories, real life is not a slasher movie. Like, people don't usually die in real life in these, like, based on true story movies. So the fact that they killed off the priest and the witch, who is like the daughter, I'm like, okay, I feel like these are characters just for the movie. Yeah. And these characters probably didn't need to be in the movie in the first place. And it's like you're adding characters to a story that nobody really wanted to see. And so I feel like the fact that she killed off her dad and then, the demon took her soul at the end of the movie was like, okay, this is definitely Hollywood.
Right.
I almost guarantee neither one of those characters were real.
Right.
In real life.
Yeah.
So
that whole angle with the witch or whatever was probably not a part of the case at all, and it was just added for the movie. But who knows? I just didn't really like her. She wasn't really scary. She was, I don't know, kind of a lame villain compared to some of the other ones. This one was way less realistic than the other movies. Just especially the visions. It really took me out of the movie when she was having those visions, and they were lasting for a while, and it was just kind of like, okay, let's move on. I didn't feel like there was any of that like atmosphere building, like especially the first one had. I didn't feel like there was any of that real horror or tension, or there wasn't a lot of that, which you have to have that. I know we're 3 movies in, but it's you have a very good example with that first film, so you gotta at least try to recreate that a little bit.
I kind of wonder if it's because of the lack of like the haunted house per se. Like there's no like haunted house and stuff.
Right.
So I think maybe the sets were just not like, the sets didn't really put off like a great environment for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's true. There wasn't really that haunted house like there was in the other 2. So,
But they could have they could have made it that way, though. You know,
for sure.
It could have started just with the trial right at the beginning, and we learn about what happened throughout the movie, and it can be so simple.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to be this big, this witch girl and, all these visions and all this extra stuff. Like, it could have been much more grounded and much better. So, I like the contortion stuff, but it was a little played out toward the end there. It was cool with the little boy.
It was fine with him, but then it could have just ended.
It was like, okay, you're having fun with this contortion stuff.
Yeah.
All right, we get it.
You found
we get
a new
it.
toy you like to play with. All right.
In the thunder and lightning and all the lights and stuff.
Oh gosh.
At the end.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Very theatrical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where I'll stop. All right, guys. Let's grade this, and then me and Joel will rank our film or the Conjuring movies. I think it'll be a pretty easy ranking, but
I can guess it.
There's only 3 movies.
All right. Joey.
Jizzy Joey. I'm gonna go with 76%.
Okay.
Solid C. It was decently entertaining. I probably won't watch it again, but I think 76 is pretty solid though. Okay. Passing score.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I mean, it's close to mine. I was going to give it a 74. So.
Okay. Cool. I'm going 65.
Whoa!
Oh wow.
I was disappointed with this one. Definitely won't watch it again. And I gave the second one like a 72.
He gave it a 70.
Something like that. And I definitely enjoyed this one less than the second one. So
true.
Yeah, not a big fan of this one. This one is a whatever movie. I won't remember this movie for anything really.
It was kind of like a tale of two movies, kind of.
Yeah,
you had the courtroom, and then you had the whole witch girl and stuff, and you're like, what the hell? These are like two different movies, kind of.
Yeah,
I mean they're kind of tied together a little bit, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you would have liked it a little bit more if you had seen it in theaters? Just because the theater tends to give more of a it's a good place to watch horror movies in general, but
maybe
give off more of
And I think seeing a movie in theaters, you kind of get a little jaded. One, yes, the theater experience, but also you spent money, like good money, to go see the movie, so you kind of want to like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to feel like you wasted money. And so when I go to the theaters now, it's like everybody goes for the most part. So it's gotta be, if it's on a streaming platform, I'm probably not going to go to the theater. Because it would just be a lot of money to spend. And so, So, that's why we didn't go. But yeah, I might have enjoyed it a little more in the theater. But yeah, so Joel, you want to rank these real quick? Well, I'll go first. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
That's shocking.
From worst to best.
Yeah. Worst to best. 3, 2, 1.
1, 2, 3.
3, 2, 1. Worst to best.
So I mean, it's the same for me too. I mean, when we reviewed the second movie, I remember we were basically kind of tearing that movie apart for the most part. But I remember really loving that movie the first time I saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
And after seeing it the first time, I was like, I don't know which one I like better, the first one or the second one.
Yeah.
More at that time. With this one, it's very clear. I don't feel that way at all.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's gonna go 3, 2, 1 for me as well.
Yeah.
Worst to best.
Okay.
for sure.
And actually, I'm gonna go on a limb here and rank them as well. I can't remember if I saw the second one, but I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3 as well. 'Cause I saw the first one, and I know for sure I would like the second one better than I like the third one.
Yeah.
So there's my ranking.
All right, there you go.
You should watch the second one just to
I know.
go back to this episode.
No, I actually think that I saw the second one. I just can't remember it though. Like, I can't actually remember it or whatever. So, but I'm pretty sure I saw it.
Yeah,
I can't say for sure though.
I just, this movie probably would have been better than 2 if they had just stayed with the courtroom drama.
Yeah,
like,
it had good
jump scares.
potential. It had potential.
Yeah,
It
it
had
did.
great potential.
It had, and
It was.
you took it a completely different direction with witchcraft. And it's like, that's not what these movies are about. These are demon possessions. Like, don't give me this witchcraft angle. Just tell me the courtroom story.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, then you start talking about like this missing girl, and they go out into the forest, and she almost falls into the cliff because the missing girl grabbed her and stuff. And I was like, wait, I thought this was about a courtroom, about a guy that killed another guy that was possessed. And I was like, wait, did I turn on like a different movie or something? Or it didn't even make any sense.
Yeah, that whole
like,
scene.
you're gonna be lost.
I think the missing girl angle was to prove that she is who she says she is to the cops that were investigating that case. That's literally all that was for.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like so dumb though.
Yeah.
So dumb. Like, I don't care if she could prove, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like so dumb. Yeah. It could have been so much more easier. You do the courtroom, you follow through, the whole case and stuff.
Yeah.
But they lost me with that. They lost me with the witch and all that stuff.
Yeah.
If
there was more, and since the actual demon possession thing was not used in court, maybe that is not why they went that direction more. But they could have. I mean, if you're going to make a movie and make it extremely loosely based on actual events,
extremely loosely,
then it could have been more so them working with the lawyer, like. How is this going to be seen by the jury? What kind of angles can we use, and what's the truth, and it could have been a lot more of a a courtroom movie, and I guess whoever wrote it just doesn't know how to do that.
Yeah, give us a different case. Like, they were working with the Amityville horror people, and that guy went to trial. Like, give us that case. Like, just give us something that actually went somewhere, and give us a courtroom drama.
And you name the movie "The Devil Made Me Do It."
Yeah,
but then you didn't actually, like, that was not even part of it. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, I don't know. It was it was just it was very disappointing because I thought it was going to be kind of a different movie, and it started out so good. I thought it started out so awesome, but then right after that, even up until where he like kills him and stuff, and then he's walking down the street all bloodied and stuff, I was like, dude, this is like pretty cool. Yeah. Then after that, I was like, and that's when it took a turn. And I was like, this is kind of lame. Like, at least for like the next like 2/3 middle half of the movie. And I was like, and then it picked up a little steam, but at that point it was too late. Yeah. Then they started talking about the love story, and then they lost me again.
It's like, we get it, you guys are married. Like, we know you love each other.
And then at the very end, when they like when they God, what is it called? The little canopy kind of thing.
Yeah,
like gazebo.
I was like, a gazebo. Yeah, I was like, this is so dumb. What the hell? Like, nobody that likes horror or likes Conjuring. No, I guarantee you, 0 people said, "Oh, that's so cool." It's like coming like full circle. I was like, dude, this is so dumb. Is this over now or what? It's so stupid.
And they've been kind of going more and more in that direction with this whole Ed and Lorraine, their love for each other. That's kind of been a theme. They really laid it on thick on this one, though.
Yeah, they gave it to us a little bit in the second one, but that we know, guys, we know.
Yeah, like they're married, and so bad. And do you guys think that there will be another Conjuring 4?
I'm sure there will be.
Yeah, probably.
They have an endless number of cases.
Yeah,
I guess they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at some point they died, so I mean, it'll have to end sometime.
Like recently though, like
a couple years, or she died a couple years ago, and then he died a while back, or whatever. Mm-hmm. Oh, that was another thing too. When and I don't know if this was actually like true story and stuff, but when he like saw like what was his name, David, like pass the demon on to Arnie.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden he had a heart attack and he couldn't speak. And then he finally woke up in the hospital room. He said, "Oh, you got to get to Arnie. He's been possessed." I was like, I don't know if that was based on a true story. Probably not. But I was like, that's very convenient.
Yeah.
I thought that was like very hard to believe.
Yeah.
And then it was that day that the attack happened.
Right.
Like, how long was it in between? She's calling the police, going, "There's going to be
something bad.
Someone's about to get hurt or something." Yeah. And it was that day.
Right.
Like, how long was he in a coma for? How long was he in the hospital for?
Yeah. Right.
Because it wasn't right away.
No.
You know, it was. Yeah, he was in the coma, and the guy, like, for whatever reason, the possession didn't like just turn quickly. Like it took him a while to kill this guy.
It stayed in him for a while.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah. Well, the more we talk about it, the more my 65 is looking good.
No. I'm actually going to revise mine. I'm going to revise mine to 74 with Joel.
Okay.
I just changed mine. I can't have the highest score.
Yeah.
74. Final answer.
A mess.
Yeah.
And I mean, I saw The Curse of La Llorona. Like, that's, as far as Conjuring movies go, that's like bottom of the barrel. Mm-hmm. So the fact that this is basically his follow-up, I don't expect too much. Like, he directed a Billie Eilish music video. Like, okay.
Yeah, when you were talking about the stuff that he had done, I'm like, okay, well, this is making a lot of sense.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
All right.
Don't give this guy another Conjuring movie.
Yeah. Let's lay this one to rest.
Yes.
Right.
All right, Joey, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll see you again later on, maybe for the new Purge movie or
we
got Candyman and all kinds of
Is it Scream coming out this year too?
Which one?
Scream?
No,
that's January.
January.
Next year?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's almost this year.
I'll be around.
January of
next
year.
But. Yeah, maybe you can be in on the 1 through 4.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
because we'll
be doing the series.
Yeah. So
well, not the TV shows, but the movies.
We'll be hitting you up for that. Okay. So yeah, this has been Scare Talk, and this has been our episode on The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It.
Sleep tight.
Don't let the big old dead guy bite.